Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Raising L and L. In this video, I want to talk about being black in Germany, raising black or mixed race children in Germany, as well as how to achieve your goals faster as a black person in Germany. So I've been living in Germany for 10 years, and when I first got here, I met a lot of black people that would say things like, as a black person in Germany, you can never make it. You always be a cleaning lady for the rest of your life. And let me just tell you something, it is not true. Because today I'm a successful business owner of an award-winning business, and I know a lot of black people that are successful in Germany. But don't get me wrong, it is very hard. It is very hard to make it here, not only as a black person, but as a foreigner in general. And I'm making this video to help you, if you're new in Germany, or if you're thinking about coming to Germany, to avoid making some of the mistakes that a lot of people make that cost them time and rob them of their achievements. So I came to Germany, I was 23 years old, and I had so many dreams and aspirations that quickly came to a halt, to a standstill, when I realized that I couldn't speak the language. And if you don't speak the language, it is pretty much almost impossible to make it here, you know. And it's really tough, and I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't know anybody. I have no family here, and I had nobody to give me advice or tell me what to do. And I ended up going in circles for a pretty long time until I figured things out. So let me get into my tips. Tip number one: a lot of people underestimate the need to learn the language well. Let me tell you, if you look at a newspaper today, and you look at even the menial jobs like a cleaning lady, they write on the ad you have to be able to speak and to write German. So you have to, and it's tough. It's really tough to learn a language as an adult. Let me tell you a small story. So 3 years after I arrived in Germany, I realized, okay, you can't do anything if you don't speak the language, and I had to sacrifice a year into learning German. So I registered myself at the University of Bochum for an intensive private course, and it was expensive. And at that time, I had a cleaning job, and from that cleaning job, I could just pay my bills and buy my train ticket to get to the classes, and that was it. I didn't have money for food, and for a long time I would sometimes just go for days just eating dry bread and going to school. But you know what, that was the biggest decision I ever made, because up to today I'm reaping the benefits. I could never miss out on a job because somebody tells me your German is not good enough, because you know what, my German is pretty good. That was the best investment I ever made into my life. And I advise anybody who's new here, or anybody who's thinking about coming to Germany, to do the same. It has to be a sacrifice, but you have to learn how to speak German, because not speaking the language is like a huge block in your way, and you can't go around it. So learn to speak the language really well, and you open a lot of doors for yourself. And that goes to people raising children here. Like when you have children here, you have to make sure your children learn to speak the language. Put them in a position to be able to speak the language, even if they're small, even if they're just babies. My twins are 13 months years old. My children are 13 months old, and I put them in daycare when they were 8 months old, because I want them to be able to speak German from the beginning. It is really important, because it's a setback for children when they start school and they don't speak the language. We don't speak German at home. That's why I put them in an environment where they're able to speak German, and now they're starting to speak, and they already have German words in their vocabulary at 13 months old. So it's pretty good, and that's what every parent has to do, you know, if you're going to raise your children to be successful here. Now, tip number two, and a mistake that a lot of people do when they come to Germany, is underestimating the importance to integrate into the society and mix and mingle with Germans. I know it's really hard when you come here and you don't speak the language. What do? You find people from your country, you find people who speak the language that you speak, and you form this small group, like a subgroup, and you form your own community, eating your own food, speaking your own language, doing your own thing outside of the German society, it doesn't help you in any way. I'll tell you something. Most of the times when I needed help with paperwork, with advice, with anything, you know, starting my businesses, I spoke to Germans, and they gave me the best advice that applies in this society. Germans are very helpful people. Honestly, I've met Germans that have really helped me a lot in terms of my career, in terms of my personal life. You know, I would go to someone and say, I'm stuck, you know, I don't know how to do this paperwork, or I don't know where I'm supposed to go to register stuff, you know. And they'll say, okay, I'll check it out for you, I'll Google it for you. And they'll even take it a step further, call wherever you have to call and get the papers for you and get the forms and help you. Like, if you live in your own society and you close yourself up, then you might not get these tips that you really need. And I know it's tough to, like, where are you going to meet Germans? How are you going to become friends with Germans? But, you know, you need to put yourself in an environment where you meet Germans. Because in the beginning, I came as an au pair. And what would I do when I felt bored or lonely? I would attend these au pair meetings. And then I'll just meet foreigners, because there's no German being an au pair in Germany. Or I met a lot of people at my language school, but there are no Germans taking German lessons. So you meet foreigners again, and you end up with a group of friends that are foreigners, but it's very important to mix and mingle into the society and really be integrated. So how can you meet Germans? I would suggest joining a sport. You know, take a yoga class, do Pilates, go swimming, whatever you like, and meet Germans there. And, you know, maybe, you know, invite a couple of people out for drinks and take it from there. That's how you make friends. Or I would say, you know, volunteer. I volunteered a lot with the Diakonie here in Düsseldorf, and I've met people like that, and it's a great way to give back to the community that you're trying to integrate to. I believe it's good karma when you do stuff like that. It's also good. It looks good on your CV when you know, volunteer and help other people, and you make friends, and you get to practice your German. So, you know, you have to think about it. You have to integrate into the society. And tip number 3 is don't put limitations on yourself before somebody else, you know, or before the system limits you. You know, okay, it's hard to find a job, but why don't you start a business and employ yourself? Nobody's stopping you from doing that. You know, you have to think big, you have to think wide, you have to think broad, because when you limit yourself, you have nobody else to blame. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that black people don't make it because they limit themselves. The system here is also really tough. Dealing with the foreign office and dealing with the rules and dealing with the paperwork, it's really tough. But if you know what you want, and you think big, and you work at it, and you keep pushing, and you do all the right things, you will make it. Maybe not today, but 5 years from now, you will make it. You have to keep on pressing, and that is the only way you can enjoy being in Germany or being in a foreign country. There's really no point in leaving your country to come and be depressed here, or to come and limit yourself here. You know, do whatever you can. And I just want to encourage somebody out there and say, you can make it as a black person in Germany, and you can enjoy your life here, and you can raise children here and really be involved and integrated into the society. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful. If you did, please share it with your friends. Follow me on Instagram and get to see what I do with my beautiful identical twin girls, because I post a lot of pictures on Instagram, raising L and L. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I hope you watch the rest of my videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.